So, I am back with Nick for another Necrons vs Necrons Battle Report. But, as voted for on Nick's membership community tab, I am going to be playing the Novokh Dynasty, Novokh vs Meffrit. It's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. And if you're new to the channel and you want to learn about Necrons and more, then please subscribe and hit the bell button to turn on all notifications so you don't miss an upload.
Necrons!
Okay, so I'm back with my Testacron themed Mephrit Dynasty list, and today I'm up against Nick and his Novokh army. So far, my Tesla list has beaten the Tactical Dynasty, Eldar and Tyranids, so this should be interesting. Now, coming up with a Novokh list at 1,111 points is quite difficult to do, certainly in a battalion detachment. So I've had to go for an outrider detachment, and I've had to drop any form of troops. I've gone all out assault units. So let's have a look at our two armies. Okay, so here are our two armies. So we've got the winning Meffrit battalion detachment. They've won 3 games so far, and heading up the force is an overlord with a warsai, and behind him is a cryptek with the staff of light and the veil of darkness. We then have 3 squads of immortals, all with Tesla, a squad of 10, a squad of 6 and a squad of 5. And then we've got 9 tomb blades, all with Tesla guns, and they've got shield vanes and nebula scopes. And then we've got 2 annihilation barges with Tesla on the top and bottom, and a knight scythe. That comes in at 1,111 points and has 8 command points. And then for the Novokh Dynasty, well, we couldn't get a battalion detachment, which was my original idea for this particular setup of games. However, the Novokh Dynasty doing a battalion detachment is quite difficult, especially at this point level. So we've gone for an outrider detachment, and heading up the force is the Destroyer Lord. He's got a warsai and phylactery. Now he's got that because his artifact is Nanoscarab Casket, so that gives him D3 living metal in his turn and in the opponent's turn. Not only that, the first time he dies he can stand back up on a 4+ with D6 wounds, and of course I could use the stratagem which allows him to come back a second time if needed, and assuming I've got enough CPs left, because of course this army is only 4 CPs. Now his warlord trait is Crimson Haze, which I think adds to the Novokh Dynasty trait quite well, so we can re-roll failed hits when we charge or when we are charged in the first round of combat. And then with his warlord trait, any model within 6 inches that rolls a 6 to hit, they get an extra attack, so pretty handy. And then in the elite slot we've got 2 units of 10 flayed ones, and in fast attack we've got 2 units of 4 scarab swarms and 1 big unit of 9 scarab swarms. And at the back we've got 2 units of wraiths, 1 unit of 6 there, and this unit of 6 here have particle casters, which takes us up to 1,111 points exactly, but with just 4 CPs. Okay, so let's roll to see which mission we're playing. I've already played mission 3, 4 and 5, so it's 1, 2 or 6, and it's going to be a D3. So we are playing mission 2, Scorched Earth. Okay, so let's roll for the attacker and defender. The orange dice is the Novokh Dynasty, so it's a draw, so re-roll that. And it's going to be the Mephrit Dynasty choosing. Okay, so the mission is 6 objectives. You score a point at the start of your turn for every objective that you're on. If you're on your opponent's objective in their deployment zone, you can choose to basically remove that objective. You score 3 points and then the objective is gone. I think the Mephrit Dynasty are going to be the attacker, so we should be going first. Okay, so here is the table, and I'm using my Necron bridge for this mission, which is going to be a lot of fun. We've got a broken monolith on the edge of this bridge, and we're going to use the bridge as an interactive piece of the game. However, it's not going to be too interactive. But first of all, we need to find out which map we're playing. So the defender rolls a dice to find out which one. So we are playing map 2, which is Standard Dawn of War. Okay, so before we start putting objectives down, let's have a quick chat about this bridge and how it's going to work in this game. So at the beginning of your turn, starting from turn 2, you roll a dice, and if you roll lower than the turn it is, then your teleportation pad becomes active. You then randomly find out if this is going to be your pad or this is going to be your pad, and then if you have a unit on here, you can teleport from here onto your pad. Apart from that, the bridge is not interactive with the game, so you can't go on top of the bridge any other way than the teleportation devices, and of course objectives can't be on top of the bridge. Now the defender places their first objective, which has to be 9 inches away from any deployment zone. Then the attacker of course has to do the same. The rest of your objectives that you place have to be in your deployment zone, so this is going to be quite interesting. Right, let's get these objectives down. Okay, so the Novokh Dynasty objective, the first one went here, trying to hide behind the piece of terrain there, because of course there's lots of guns coming our way. We've got one behind the building there and one just over here. My 2 units of 4 scarab swarms are going to be the ones defending my backfield objectives. And then on the Mephrit Dynasty side, we've got one on the teleportation pad, so that's probably where they're planning to go. And then we've got one here by this objective and one in this piece of terrain just here, which is probably where the troops are going to go. Okay, so all of the objectives are down, so it's time to deploy. Okay, so the Mephrit Dynasty have deployed. I've put all of the immortals in here with the Cryptic and the Overlord. Now my plan is, especially as I'm going first, is I think I need to be ultra aggressive against this assault army, because, well, at the end of the day, they're going to be coming towards me regardless. They have no guns, and if they start to get on my objectives, taking 3 points and then destroying my objective, well, that is not going to be good. So I think I need to take the fight to them to try and hold them back. So my plan will be to use the Veil of Darkness on my 10 immortals and then speed these Tomb Blades forward as fast as I can and just take the fight into their deployment zone, try to hold them back. In the meantime, these Annihilation Barges here will take these 2 objectives. The Knight Scythe is just here so he can make his little swing attack around the table. Okay, so that is my deployment. Let's deploy the Novokh. Okay, so I've deployed my army. I've got the 4 Scarab Swarms just there, and the big blob of Scarab Swarms, Wraiths and Destroyer Lord here, with the other small squad of swarms just on the objective, and the Wraiths in the central position. Now, I did have a big look at this battlefield, and to be fair, if you zoom in underneath this bridge, that is like a little death trap under there waiting for me. So I don't really want to go in that direction too much. My plan will be to flank around this side of the table just here and aim for these 2 objectives here. Those immortals can't see too much from this side of the table, and it's a bit empty on this side. So that was the plan. However, I don't want my opponent to know that's my plan, so I have put the unit of Wraiths here, the ones without a gun, just to make it look like I'm attempting to come in this direction, maybe get this objective, just to, well, foil the plans of the other army. That's the idea anyway. I of course am going to have the 2 units of flayed ones in reserve, so there'll be my little backup plan as such. Okay, I suppose now it's time to find out if I can seize the initiative. So at the moment we've got the Mephrit Dynasty going first, but on a 6 the Novokh can steal it. Let's see what happens. Come on. 2, no. Okay, Mephrit Dynasty's turn 1. Okay, so looking at the deployment of the Novokh here, well, these here clearly are flanking me, and my main issue now is this objective here, because I've only got the Annihilation Barge, which is going to go out and get it, and I'm quite susceptible to those wraiths coming over and just killing me. So obviously the Novokh army is all about the wraiths, so I need to get rid of those wraiths. So I'm going to stick with my plan. I'm going to try and distract. I'm going to teleport the big squad around the middle area of this table, and then move the Tomb Blades in as well. I'll then just get as many of the other guns as I can in range and try to blast this Novokh army. Okay, let's see if we can do it. Okay, so movement phase. So I've moved both Annihilation Barges forward. They're still in range of the objectives. Of course, the Novokh army has no objective secure units, so I don't have to worry about them stealing the objective in those terms. However, yeah, I've got this big squad of wraiths, well, and these scarab swarms as well, but the wraiths are the scariest ones to me. But I've got both guns in range here, and the Knight Scythe is flying under the bridge, it would seem, and he's got his guns in range of the wraiths as well. Now over this side of the table I've got both the small squads of Immortals here, but as planned I have vowed the big squad. So we've got a big squad here near the objective, 9 inches away from the enemy, and I've moved the Tomb Blades here. This unit of wraiths is going to be my top priority. I'm going to shoot everything that I can into these. If I can kill at least this unit, then that means that the rest of the game I can concentrate on this side of the army. So that will be the plan. So let's shoot. Okay, so first of all I'm going to shoot the Tomb Blades just here at the wraiths, mainly because the Immortals here could shoot something else if all of these wraiths die, which is unlikely, but you never know. So I'm going to use Talent for Annihilation just to try to get as many shots as I can into these wraiths. So here we go. We will need 3s looking for 6s. We've got a reroll. That one was a miss, and the reroll was a 4. Okay, so those are the ones that hit. We got 3 6s, which generates another 6 hits, and with those 3 6s we can have 3 more shots, and we get just 1 in. However, this 6 doesn't generate more 6s, but it's another bullet in basically. So now we need to wound. Strength 5, toughness 5, so we need 4s. Got a few re-rolls here, quite a few dice for this little dice tray, but there you go. So let's see how many wounds we've got. Okay, 24 dice in total, and that was with a bad roll. Remember, I only rolled 3 6s out of all of those dice. However, 24 3+ invulnerable saves. So let's see how they can save these. Just 6 fell, so 2 wraiths dead. There's still 4 wraiths left. I'm definitely going to shoot the Immortals next. Okay, 3 wraiths left, Immortals coming in, so we are looking for 3s. With my will be done, of course. So it's actually 2s that we need, not 3s, so the 1 misses, and of course now 5s and 6s generate extra hits, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 altogether, so we get another 10 hits. Okay, needing 4s to wound. How many wounds have we got? Let's count them up. Okay, just 12 wounds in total, but it could be enough depending on how well the wraiths roll. So a 3+ invulnerable save, and they lose another wraith and another wraith. 1 wraith left. Okay, so clutching at straws, I've got no other guns in range of this single wraith except for the Staff of Light, which is just in range. I shot the Staff of Light in and I just did 1 wound. So really annoying. The wraith is there. I didn't get first strike. I do, however, have the 2 Annihilation Barges and the Knight Scythe to shoot. I'm going to shoot all of them into this unit of wraiths and just see how we get on. We are strength 7 and 6, so we will be wounding on 3s, but of course there's not quite as many shots Let's see how we get on. Okay, Annihilation Barge at the back first, in case I kill some and they remove it from the front line and then I'm not in range. So let's shoot this one. Black is the big gun on the top. We need 3s and looking for 6s. We've got 1 6, so those go in, and that and that and that and that comes out. Strength 6 and Strength 7, so we both need 3s. So 3s on these, so those 3 miss, and that's how many saves we've got. So it's a 3+ invulnerable save, and we kill, well, we don't even kill anything, but we get 1 wound. Okay, second barge, we really could do with some 6s, come on. We do get some 6s, the 1s and 2s miss however, but we get 2 big guns and 2 more smaller guns. Okay, looking for 3s to wound. So that misses and that misses. That's many 3+ saves. So let's see how these do. 1. So that's 1 wraith done, gone, and 1 with 2 wounds. Okay, and finally the Night Scythe. So we are looking for 6s again. So the 1s and 2s miss, which is not good, and we only get 1 6, so 2 extra. And now we are looking for 3s to wound, 1 misses, and these are the saves, a 3+ save, and another 2 wounds. So we killed 2 wraiths, and 1 wraith is on 1 wound. Okay, end of Meffert, turn 1, and I didn't get first strike. I could still get it because it's in the first battle round. If this single wraith assaulted my immortals and then died, I would still get first strike. It probably isn't going to happen, and I bet the Novokh Dynasty are going to reanimate some of those wraiths just there. So I scored no points in my first turn. I did dent the wraiths though, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens next as we move in to Novokh turn 1. Okay, so Novokh turn 1, we've got a wraith here with 1 wound lost. And I'm definitely going to use the stratagem. It's 2 points, I've only got 4 CP, so that's the downside of my army. And although obviously I've lost some wraiths here, I've lost 5 here, so we're going to try to reanimate them. It's on a 5+ because I have no cryptek, so we're looking for 5s. Come on, we could do with a good round. 5s! Just 1 wraith back up. Okay, so assessing the table here, and I have to say the Mephrit Dynasty, that was very good play by them, very aggressive, and well, it's really scuppered my plans of going forward and getting into the deployment zone here, because I've got a big problem with these guys in the middle of the table. And my scarabs are looking a bit vulnerable from an attack from these tomb blades. However, it's these guys which are on the objective, so I think I need to just go all out and try to remove, if I can, these immortals who I'm probably going to assault with everything that I've got. I'm not sure about these, I don't want to give up first strike, so I might just take this blob into the middle. Okay, so I have to be honest, I'm feeling incredibly worried for the Novack army. So yeah, I moved the scarab swarms in hope that if these guys move 14 inches here, they may not be able to shoot. Just trying to hide the angle a bit. It's going to be hit and miss whether that works out. And then I've moved all of these guys up here into the middle. So my scarabs will be assaulting first so they can take the overwatch. Going to try and get the Destroyer Lord in and then the Wraiths in on this side. These are here just as a backup in case this goes miserably wrong with the assaulting. And they're sort of making a play for the teleportation device. Not that I want to use it, but maybe to distract the Tomb Blades from this objective at the back. So we'll see how this all pans out. Yeah, time to assault. Okay, so everything here made it into the assaults. The Destroyer Lord got 9 inches, the Wraiths a few more inches than they needed, and we are in. The Scarabs have just consolidated 3 inches, ready to assault first. Okay, Scarabs first, 4 attacks each. They need 4s, but Novokh Dynasty can re-roll the hits on the first turn that they charge in. So we are looking for 4s, a bucket load of dice. That is a 4 and that's a cocked dice, so re-roll that, it misses. Okay, re-roll the misses. Okay, that's many hits, so now re-rolling again, so we need 4s. Take out the misses once again. Okay, that's all the hits, and we've got 8 6s, so with Crimson Haze we get an extra attack for those 6s. So again we need 4s, and then we can re-roll the misses for Novokh Dynasty, and we get that many more hits. Okay, now rolling to wound, we need 5s. Okay, let's see how many 5s we've got. Okay, 11 saves after all of that, so 11 3 pluses, and we kill 3 Immortals. Okay, next up we'll go with the Destroyer Lord. He's got 4 attacks, needing 3s, re-rolling because of Novack, and any 6s generates an extra hit. So let's do the re-roll. We get 1 extra 6, we get another hit, and we miss, but we can re-roll it, and we miss again. So 4 shots go through, and we are strength 7, so we need 3s, and that's not bad, and that is -4 AP, and of course the Cryptek doesn't give invulnerable saves against assault, only shooting. I think it should be assault as well, but anyway, that's how the rules are. So that's 4 Immortals dead. Okay, so I can't get into the Cryptek, so it's going to have to be all on the Immortals. So here we go, we get 3 attacks each, and we need 3s. Re-rolling the misses because of Novack. 2 miss, we've got 1 6 there, which gives us an extra hit. So let's see if we hit, we do. So all of those hit, and then we are strength 6, so we will need 3s. Those miss, -2 AP, so we are looking at a 5+ save. So that many wounds with a 5+ save. We save none, so that is all the Immortals dead and first strike. Okay, so the Cryptek not dying has really helped me out because I've now consolidated all 3 of those units into the Cryptek, so he can't fall back and I can't be shot at. That has really saved my bacon, I think. These 2 Wraiths are looking vulnerable, of course, and these Scarabs here at the back. But let's see what happens as we move into turn 2 for the Mephrit Dynasty. Okay, Mephrit's turn 2, and at the start of turn 2, I score 1 victory point for each objective I'm controlling. I'm controlling 3 at the moment, so that's 3 points to me. Plus, I need to find out if this is going to become active. So it's turn 2, so on a 1 it will become active. It doesn't. Okay, what to do? I can't really move my Annihilation Barges, they're taking my objectives. The Night Scythe is going to move, and I'm going to try to target those Scarabs on that objective. And then if I can target these Scarabs somehow with my Tomb Blades, I might have to advance them. But if I can kill both of those Scarab units, that will take the scoring capability of the backfield away from the Novokh Dynasty, and potentially I could get 3 points and destroy the objective as well. So I'm going to focus on the objectives. This middle blob here, there's literally nothing I can do about it. I am going to be very vulnerable to a counter assault in the next turn, and we've got flayed ones coming in. So I have to say that assault, with those being locked in combat, has really changed the dynamics of this game. It's going to be very interesting. Okay, let's move. Okay, so I measured up, and both of these Immortal squads are within 24 inches of the Wraiths in the middle of the table. So I gave them Mine Will Be Done, both units using a stratagem, and then I advanced the Tomb Blades there. I only rolled a 1 on the advance, so I re-rolled it, so I rolled a 3, slightly better. I've got 4 of those Tomb Blades in range of the Scarabs, and I'm next to the objective, so if I do kill the Scarabs, I will be able to claim that objective as well. So I've got quite a few guns to try and take these 2 Wraiths out. If I can kill that unit, stop them from reanimating, that's one big problem, disappeared off the table. Okay, let's shoot. Okay, so it was 4 Tomb Blades in the end that could see these Scarabs. They shot in, of course they advanced, so it was much more difficult for me to do anything. I did kill 2 Scarabs, and then I put a wound on the other Scarab. So I then shot the rest of the Tomb Blades into these wraiths. Although they're dead, the Tomb Blades did absolutely no damage. They totally whiffed. The wraiths only had like 3 wounds to make, and they made them all. And then it was the 2 My Will Be Done units of Immortals that actually killed the wraiths. The first Immortal unit killed one of the wraiths, putting a wound on the other one, and then the second Immortal unit killed the other wraith. So both wraiths dead, but that was a hard task. And then it was down to the Night Scythe, who originally was going to shoot into here, but needed to shoot into here to kill this last scarab off, and he totally whiffed. All he did was took a couple of wounds off of one of the bases. The other base totally survived, which was pretty amazing. So the scarab is contesting the objective at the moment with that Tomb Blade. So we are now going to go into the assault. I'm sure my Cryptek is going to die, and that will be the end of the turn. Okay, so Novokh turn 2. Of course, the Cryptek did die, and then I just consolidated forward there. I've scored 2 points, 1 for this objective and 1 for the middle objective. This one is contested. Let's find out if this is activated. So on a 1 it gets activated. No, it's a 2, so that is not in play. So now I need to decide what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've been thinking about this. These Tomb Blades here, they have 2 wounds each. The best thing really that I have is the wraiths to try and take them out, but there's a lot of Tomb Blades. I've only got 4 wraiths left at the moment. I think it's a little bit too early to use my last 2 CPs to reanimate them. I think I'm going to wait till I lose a couple more. Hopefully the whole units won't be wiped out. So I think I have no choice. I'm just going to ignore these Tomb Blades here. They're obviously going to start taking these backfield objectives, probably exploding them for the 3 points. So I think I need to concentrate on the backfield of this side of the table, which is probably the slightly weakest side. Even though there's only 1 unit here, these Tomb Blades are just horrible. So I'm going to just advance forward, well, move forward, and then I'm probably going to start assaulting those backfield units. Now, of course, I could bring in the 2 units of flayed ones this turn, maybe try to assault these. However, it's going to be a 9-inch assault, and I've got to take Overwatch, and if only 1 unit gets in, I don't think it's enough to wipe this big unit out. So I'm thinking I might hold the flayed ones in reserve and see how I get on in my opponent's deployment zone, see how the land lies after that, and maybe bring the flayed ones in on turn 3. Okay, so I've just moved, and I've just remembered that these wraiths here have guns. I don't normally play with the particle casters, so I totally forgot that, but yeah, they've got particle casters, so I can shoot them first, which is pretty handy. Now, the Destroyer Lord has backtracked a little bit. Originally he was going to come over here, but I've realised I can't really get him into assaults because he can't get his base in these generators. So I've backtracked, and he's going to help the wraiths out, but he's got quite a big assault charge, but you know, it is what it is. So he is sort of left stranded a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm going to shoot the wraiths, and then I'm going to start charging. Okay, so now I know how my Blood Angel's buddy feels when he fails all his assaults. Yeah, that didn't go that well. I am in the assault though. So the wraiths fired their guns, did no damage, and then they took the Overwatch and they were fine. And then they rolled a 3-inch charge. They did manage to get in though. Then the Destroyer Lord tried to charge in. He needed an 8, and he rolled a 6. And then over here I assaulted both units of Immortals. I took the Overwatch quite well. I just lost 1 Scarab base, and then my assault range was 3 inches again. However, they did get into the assault, so it's not as bad as it could have been. So let's get the assaults done. Okay, so that was pretty successful thanks to the re-rolls from Novokh. The wraiths took out the Annihilation Barge and it didn't explode. And then over here the Scarabs assaulted. There's 2 units of Immortals here, just 2 Scarabs on the units of 5. I killed 1 of them, and the rest of the Scarabs managed to kill 3 Immortals from the unit of 6. And that's the end of my turn. So we're going to move into turn 3 for the Mephrit Dynasty. Okay, so Mephrit turn 3. I'm holding this objective and this one because I'm objective secure, so I get 2 points. This one over here is contested. I do have some reanimation protocols to make. So we've got 3 immortals here coming back on a 4 because of the cryptek. We get 1 back, and then there's a single immortal who doesn't come back. Okay, we also need to see if this pad gets activated. So it's turn 3, so on a 2 it does. No, it doesn't. Okay, so I feel like I'm in trouble here. I've got the Destroyer Lord on his own. I could position the Annihilation Barge to shoot him, but then I'll be losing this objective. But then I've got the Wraiths potentially coming in as well. Over here I can't do a great deal. I can't fall back and then shoot. I might as well just stay on the objective. So it's down to the Tomb Blades, and well, I've got lots of options with these Tomb Blades. Obviously I'm trying to take this objective and then claim 3 points and explode it, and then we've got this objective in the middle, so I could potentially daisy chain these to take that objective and this one. But then also I could really do with their guns having a pop at that Destroyer Lord, and I can't do all 3 things, so I need to work out what I'm going to do. The Night Scythe could potentially just move over here and kill this Scarab, just denying that objective, and then I could move off of the objective and maybe sort of help out at the back there. However, there's some flayed ones coming in still. I am worried, I have to admit. However, we will do our best. Okay, so I'm 5-3 up on points at the moment, so I'm going to continue to push for points. So I have actually tried to get all 3 of those things happening on the table. So I've daisy chained. Both of those objectives are currently mine, and I've managed to get 5 of these Tomb Blades in range of the Destroyer Lord behind the bridge. And then the Annihilation Barge has abandoned his post on the objective. He's gone into the middle of the table there. He's going to target the Destroyer Lord, and he's going to try to bait the Wraiths away a little bit. Now we are aware, of course, that we've got some flayed ones coming in, so this is a nice open objective for the flayed ones to maybe get onto, which sort of helps me, because if they're not going to come into my Tomb Blades, it means my Tomb Blades are free, even though they're going to grab some points over here. I'm just trying to make the most of my situation. Now, of course, this Destroyer Lord can come back even if I do kill him, so I'm looking for some good dice rolls to kill him and then some bad dice rolls for him coming back. We will see. Okay, so the single Tomb Blade there shot into the Scarab and took him out, and then the Night Scythe shot into the other Scarabs, killing 1 and taking 2 wounds off of the other one. I then shot 5 of these Tomb Blades into the Destroyer Lord, getting him down to just 1 wound. And then the Annihilation Barge took him out. You can see he's lying down there, so he's going to use his Nano Scarab casket. So on a 4+, he comes back up. So let's see if he does. A 1. I'm going to re-roll it for a command point. Gives me only 1 command point left, but let's see if we can re-roll it. So a 4, another 1. Okay, so we've only got 1 command point left. We might as well use resurrection protocols on this guy. So on a 4+, he stands back up for 1 CP. Come on then, baby. It's another 1. Can you believe it? Okay, the Destroyer Lord is actually dead, and that's Slay the Warlord as well. Okay, so that takes the Meffert Dynasty to 6 points to 3 as we move into Novokh turn 3. Okay, Novokh turn 3, we've got no command points left, we've got no RPs to do. Let's find out if the teleportation device becomes active. It's turn 3, so on a 1 or 2 it does, and it's a 5. Okay, so the Novokh are on 2 objectives, 1 here and then the Wraiths on the other one, so that's 2 points. So it's actually quite close. It's 5 points to 6 to the Mephrit Dynasty. And of course I'm going to bring my flayed ones in this turn. It's just a case of where am I going to bring them in. I'm going to have a think about it. I'll then come up with a plan. Okay, so I've formulated a plan and implemented it. So the Wraiths there have just moved forward. They're going to assault the Annihilation Barge but stay within range of the objective. The flayed ones have come down here just to protect this objective. It's quite an important objective. Over here, I forgot to say in the previous turn we did the assault. The Scarabs did no damage, of course no re-rolls to hit that turn, and then the Immortals did 2 wounds on 1 base. These Scarabs are just staying where they are, and then the other units of flayed ones have come on the board edge here, 9 inches away from the Tomb Blades. My plan is to assault the Tomb Blades and hopefully surround the objective to get more models on the objective than the Tomb Blades, thus scoring it and stopping them from exploding it. So that's the plan. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the Wraiths shot in. They took 1 wound off the Annihilation Barge, who in Overwatch killed a Wraith that only had 1 wound left. So we are now into the assault. Over here, the flayed ones are just about to charge in. However, first of all, they've got to take Overwatch. Okay, Overwatch did absolutely nothing, literally. So, it's the assault range coming up. We are looking for 9. We get 6. And we have no rerolls, so they are just stranded in the corner of the table. Right, let's see how the Wraiths can do against this Annihilation Barge. Okay, so the Wraiths went into the assault. They rolled amazingly to hit. Everything hit, no rerolls needed. However, wounding was a different story. Only 2 wounds got through, and then the Annihilation Barge didn't save any of them. So the barge is down to 3 wounds, but a bit disappointing I didn't take it out. Over this side of the table here, I killed 2 Immortals, and then the Immortals took 2 wounds off a Scarab Swarm. So that is the end of Novack turn 3. Okay, so Meffrit turn 4. I'm scoring 1 point for being on that objective. I'm going to raise this objective, which means I get 3 points and the objective disappears, making these guys totally redundant because they can't even score that objective now. Over this side of the table, I'm scoring this objective still because I'm objective secure, so that is another point. And we've got our RPs to do, so we've got 4 RPs for 1 unit on a 4+, 2 come back up, and there's 1 on the other unit which doesn't come up. Okay, so the platform is active. I'm not sure if it's going to make too much difference to this game, but we will see as we start to move what's left. Okay, so I'm 11-5 points up at the moment, so I'm trying to consolidate my lead. I fell back with the Annihilation Barge. I went into no man's land so that if the Wraiths or the flayed ones want to assault me, well, that's fine. They have to come off of the objective. Of course, I got my living missile on there, so I'm back up to 4 wounds. Over this side of the table, the Tomb Blades advanced. I got a 4 on the advance, and I managed to get within 3 inches of this objective and still hold this objective with the Tomb Blades in range to shoot the Wraiths. But I want to shoot these first. I need to get rid of all of them to be able to take this objective, so I might have to split fire. The Knight Scythe sadly couldn't get his guns in ranged because of the way he was flying, so he had to just fly over there. So next turn he'll be a little bit more useful. So that is the movement phase, so let's do some shooting. Okay, so I was just looking at the Scarabs, trying to decide how many shots to put into them, and then when I stooped over to have a look, I'm actually blocking line of sight with that piece of terrain. I cannot see those Scarabs for shooting. So they are going to have to shoot into the Wraiths, and then next time I'm going to have to concentrate on the Scarabs. Okay, so the Tomb Blades shot in. Having advanced, it was much harder to shoot with them. They did kill 1 of the Wraiths, and then the Annihilation Barge shot in, killed another Wraith, and got the last Wraith down to just 1 wound. And then over here we did the assault, and the Immortals killed 1 Scarab base and took a wound off of the other ones, and then the Scarabs did very well that turn, killing 1 Immortal from the unit of 5 and killing the last 3 Immortals from the unit of 6. So just 3 immortals left from 1 unit now in this area. However, they are still scoring that objective. So that was the end of the turn as we move in to Novokh, turn 4. So that is activated and I've scored 1 point for this objective. The Wraiths have got me another 1 point and the flayed ones just here are going to raise this objective for 3 points. That gives me 5 points. So I'm only 1 point behind, but I need to work out what I'm going to do next. Okay, so the flayed ones just advanced. They advanced 5 inches towards the middle of the table. These scarab swarms are just holding out here. The Wraith here has just decided to hold his ground on the objective. He did consider assaulting the Annihilation Barge, however he's only got 1 wound left and I'm slightly worried about Overwatch. Over here the flayed ones are going to come over here and help out the scarab swarms. There is a warlord there as well, so if I can clear that blob, explode the objective, get 3 points, and then the rest of the force here will be free to help out elsewhere. So that is the plan. I'm going to shoot the Wraith gun into the barge, I'm going to assault here, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so the Wraith shot into the Annihilation Barge. He did do 1 wound, and then the flayed ones got into the assault. We've got 5 flayed ones on the Overlord, so let's do those first. So we're going to need 3s. We can re-roll these because of the Novokh Dynasty, which is very useful looking at all of those 1s which are just there. Everything else hits, so let's re-roll these. So we need 3s, and still quite a few miss. And then we are strength 4, toughness 5, so we need 5s, and because these are flayed ones we can re-roll them. So we need 5s, let's get some 5s out. Okay, we get a couple more, which is pretty handy. So that many 3+ saves from the Overlord, and we do 3 wounds. The other 5 on the 3 immortals, so again we need 3s, re-rolling the misses because of Novokh. Okay, 2 miss, and then we need 4s, re-rolling the misses. Okay, that many 3+ saves. That is the Immortals dead. Okay, next were the Scarabs who have attacked the Overlord, and they've managed to do 5 wounds. So we've got 5, 3+ saves. He's got 2 wounds left. He dies. Okay, so end of Novokh turn 4. I've got Slay the Warlord, which puts us on 11 points each as we move in to turn 5. Okay, turn 5 for the Mephrit Dynasty. So I got my living metal back on the Annihilation Barge and I moved it here so that I can target the Wraith, be on the objective, and I'm a fair distance away from those flayed ones over there. I've got the Night Scythe just there as a backup to shoot this Wraith. Now I only scored 1 point this turn, which was for being on this objective with the Tomb Blades. The Tomb Blades have moved. I've spread out to take both objectives. I've got more models around this objective than the Scarab Swarms, however I'm hoping to destroy the Scarab Swarms anyway, so we'll see what happens there. And then that is pretty much it. So I'm just going to try to kill the Scarab Swarms, try to kill the Wraith, and then go from there. Okay, so I had 4 of these Tomb Blades being able to see the Scarab Swarms, and they killed them all. The Annihilation Barge killed the Wraith that was there, and then the Night Scythe shot into the flayed ones, who, even with that -1, saved incredibly well. I did kill just 2 flayed ones in the end. So that is their turn over. We're going to move in to Novokh, turn 5. Okay, so Novokh turn 5. I'm currently 1 point behind. I'm going to explode this objective. That gives me 3 points. Then I'm going to send the flayed ones and the Scarabs up over to the Annihilation Barge. Not a lot else I can do. The flayed ones over there are just going to advance just to see if the game goes on. They might be able to do something later. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so the flayed ones advanced just behind the building there. Over here, these flayed ones decided to stay where they are. They're hiding on the piece of terrain. They're trying to get line breaker. And the scarab swarms went over to the annihilation barge. I lost 2 bases from Overwatch. I got into the assault. I did 1 wound on the barge and I lost 1 wound in the assault. So, we are going to see if the game goes on. On a 1 or 2, the game ends. It ends. So the Novokh Dynasty have 12 points, and then they have Slay the Warlord, First Strike and Line Breaker, giving them 15 points in total. The Mephrit Dynasty have 11 points. They've got Slay the Warlord and Line Breaker, giving them 13 points in total. It's a Novokh victory. So the Assault Crons win. Finally, the Teslacrons have lost. However, who would you like to see the Assault Crons take on next? Eldar or Tyranids? Let me know in the comments box below, and if you want to see the previous battle reports featuring the Teslacrons, then check out those videos just there. Beam me up!